Welcome everyone. Today we're chatting with Abbé Noël Farman, who is a priest of the Chaldean Order of the Eastern Catholic Church, originally from Iraq.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit how you came to move to Canada from Iraq.
After 2003, there was a possibility for people to get a safe place. So, and then before that time, many of the population were immigrating. So many of our families were scattered here and there. There was a way to join and that family could be together. At the same time, toward the priesthood, when there is a relatively big community, there is a need to serve them. So we came within a family plan, and then there was a need for me to be there in Alberta, in Calgary, where we had already around 50 families. And in Edmonton, we were having about 35 families. As well as on that very time, there was a need of priests in Saskatchewan. So at that time, I was serving just Calgary and Saskatchewan for around 1 year and a half. After that, there was a need for French-speaking priests in the Diocese of Calgary, Sainte-Famille, Paroisse Sainte-Famille, and there I was nominated to this parish on July 2008.
But you weren't always a priest. You used to be a journalist before.
Yeah, I was journalist until I was deacon from 1999, and I kept to be deacon and journalist until 2004. So being deacon is an ordination and it's a service, but at the same time there was a need for me to be a priest, because it was possible for someone as married one could be priest. But the fact of being journalist and then being priest, it's like vocation. I remember in this Peter O'Toole, who was journalist, and then he became actor.
Yes.
So they asked him, why you moved from being a journalist and then actor? He said, before I was speaking about events, now I am doing the events. Yeah. So I think that
that's true for you
we
also?
are doing the events. We are part of the events. We are producing it, presenting it, and others could speak about it like you are doing now.
Yes.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's a way for evangelization. It's been said that, for example, St. Paul the Apostle, it's humor to say that, but it's a comparison, saying if Paul Apostle could return back here nowadays in the 21st century, he would have been journalist. Because being journalist is having a message, and having an ethic, value, communicating with people. So this is just continuing the same message, but in another way of service.
So it is a good match.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah. Yeah.
And how were you welcomed when you first arrived at Sainte-Famille? It was a little bit different, I guess, for this parish to welcome someone with a family already.
I would like to say, first of all, as being in Canada, there was a big difference. I was tour leader and accompanying guide, as well as journalist on that time, and it was an opportunity for me, as well as being journalist, to see more than 15 countries. I studied here and there in France, in Morocco. I have been visiting many countries in Europe. Frankly and fortunately, I see that Canada is the most welcoming country. Is the country where you could see a very positive pluralism, interfaith, respect of each other, respect of the difference. So it wouldn't be a surprise for me to be welcomed in Sainte-Famille Parish. It was just something new for them. For those who were just surprised by this new element as being from another rites or being Catholic and as well as being a Catholic married priest, it was just an explanation and spontaneous communication with them. And then those who were, as I told you just before, who were the most surprised about that became very close to me. And they became one of the good volunteers of the church. So anyone, if he could share something in common with others, and is accepted regardless his difference. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. You, as part of the Catholic diocese, are celebrating the 100th anniversary this year of the diocese?
Yeah. 2 weeks before, we co-celebrated with the Bishop of Calgary for what we call the Centennial Mass. We were around 75 to 80 priests, and the cathedral was full of people, and there it was wonderful music. It was to mark this occasion of 100 years here in Calgary, as the diocese began with Bishop Legat, I think. Yeah.
And are there any special events during the year?
Yeah, during the year it's giving idea about people, about their roots, about the history of the diocese and the history of people who were living here from the beginning of the century. It's an occasion to join the spiritual, the religious factor with the historical one. So there is a statue of Our Lady, Virgin Mary, the patron of the diocese, and it's like the pilgrim Virgin Mary here and there or in every parish. So as at the same time, this celebration and rosaries, prayers, and a certain kind of liturgy appropriate for the centennial jubilee, they are displaying many banners about the history of the diocese. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. I'm going back a little bit because I understand you've brought this beautiful book, liturgic book here, and you also speak the spoken language of Christ, which is Aramaic.
It's
right?
my mother tongue.
That's your mother tongue. Wow.
Yeah. So it's in Aramaic calligraphy, in handwritten. It was this one was done around 1950. It's the original photo of the original. It's the Mass of Sunday Mass readings of the Gospel.
Okay.
It's intended to be like this or even larger, in order to be read from 4 places. Everyone could read from here, from here, or from here. Yeah. So it's the Aramaic language, which is our mother tongue, as well as is the language of Jesus Christ. It's that language which was very common in the Mesopotamian country. You said I come from Iraq. Yeah, it's the actual Iraq. We are the first nationality of Mesopotamia. which is between the two rivers. So it's forming part of Persia, Turkey, Syria, Lebanon. In all these countries, now within their different names, we have people from our Chaldean community speaking the same language and having bishops, and their patriarch is in Baghdad or could be elected, for example, from any other country from there. Yeah.
And is it still a large population who speak the Aramaic language?
It's around 2 million in the world as Chaldo-Assyrian.
Quite large.
Chaldean and Assyrian.
Still.
But those who are actually in Iraq, they are around 300,000.
Oh, that's quite a large
Also,
congregation. And can you explain the picture
yeah.
here?
So it's Sunday per Sunday. So it's the extract of the gospel from that very Sunday. And then for the decoration sometime, we could have the decoration from time to time, but it's every Sunday of the liturgical year. It's for 1 year, not for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 1 year.
Every year it's the same readings, but you could see every Sunday, instead of having, for example, we have 3 or 4, 5 columns. Now for the liturgical calendar, we could have this in 4 Sundays.
Okay.
So it's quite large reading.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's great. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Can you say a few words in your Aramaic language
Yeah.
for us?
Emmanuel. Emmanuel is Emmanuel, God with us. And then Shlama, it's peace.
Okay.
Hubba
Hope.
is love.
Good.
Yeah.
And I understand you speak some other languages: French, English, Aramaic, Italian. Did you
Arabic,
say?
I could,
Spanish?
I could celebrate in Spanish.
In Spanish and in Arabic.
Yeah, it's around 5 languages.
Wow,
yeah.
that's amazing. And did you learn all these languages while you?
Yeah, the first, second language, the first, third language that I began to learn after the age of 12 years old was French, while from my childhood I was bilingual within Arabic and Aramaic, and then English was another step, and then Spanish. And when you could have a profound idea of one language, one Latin language, you could match and be close to other languages if you have time to do that.
Big difference though between Arabic and French.
Yeah, that's for it was
More
a
difficult.
question of study, and we studied that for several years in the seminary. And the seminary was run for French by French Dominican fathers in Nineveh. Yeah.
Amazing. And from what you were telling me before, you work right now with the Sainte-Famille Parish, but also with the Saint Mary Chaldean,
yeah.
and in also a Chaldean church in Saskatoon.
Well, in Saskatoon, it was just at the first 8 months of my nomination in Sainte-Famille. I was doing the 3 services. For Saskatoon, it was every second Sunday. And every Sunday I was having the service for both communities, the French and the Chaldean one. Actually, I'm just, after February 2009, I'm just with the Chaldean and the French-speaking parish. But it's for me a challenge. It's for me an amazing challenge to address people from 2 very different cultures,
Yes.
even within the same topic, the same subject.
Yes, the approach is different.
Yeah, the approach is
right?
really different, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're a very busy man,
Thank
and
you.
we thank you very much
you.
for being with us today.
Thank you.